Hi everyone, welcome to another WiZDOM update. My name is Andrew Kubank and I'm fortunate enough to be a National Director of WiZDOM. So this video is video number 11 in our Bank Secrets series, and that is just a series of 12 different tips, tricks and secrets that we've learned along the way having done business with banks for decades. We feel that sharing these secrets with you, giving you a bit of a look behind the curtain, a bit of a better understanding in how and why banks do the things that they do, can help maximize obviously your finance outcomes with banks, and as a result of that, help drive your property journey moving forward. So look, today's video is all about company and trust. Now, for any of you that have done business with us, you would absolutely understand that we are big fans of using companies and trusts for investment as our investment vehicle, largely for asset protection and the fact that it's not then in your personal name, but also because it actually affords us some flexibility that we otherwise wouldn't have. So this is really about some specific policy that some financial institutions have in Australia. And as a result of that, the replication of debt or the creation of debt that we can get where we otherwise wouldn't be able to. So where this comes from is that the way that some banks deal with company and trust debt is they effectively treat it like business debt rather than residential debt. And so what it says is this, is that their policy says that if a client has existing debt in company and trust, let's say even if it's just for an investment property, as long as they can get comfortable that they don't need to worry about that debt, in other words, if we can get a letter from an accountant saying, hey bank, you know, that particular debt is serviced completely by the company and trust and has no reliance on anything else, or alternately, you know, that company is not trading, or alternately that company is profitable, essentially giving the bank some comfort to go, okay, we don't need to look too closely at that, that's being looked after. Well then, for the purpose of a servicing exercise, it's within their policy that they will completely exclude both the income and the debt. Now, what that means for us is that it actually means that we can potentially create additional debt because all of the servicing and everything that goes with that existing property is essentially for the purposes of taking on the next loan completely ignored. And so it means that you can replicate the debt where otherwise you wouldn't be able to. Now, I can assure you that this is something that is not well known out in the industry at all. I would absolutely suggest to you that WiZDOM would be, without question, one of the pioneers in this, and certainly one of the more substantial brokerage houses in Australia when it comes to both understanding company and trust and how company and trust can be leveraged to be able to maximise outcomes for all of our clients. It's not something that most banks know or understand. In actual fact, I'm going to say to you that despite how large they are, banks are still not that great at company and trust lending, both understanding it and the execution of that overall. So look, again, this is not really a video to get into lots of detail about that, but what I can say to you is by taking a really sensible strategic approach with this, also creating great asset protection along the way, using company and trust as a vehicle, we have absolutely driven material borrowing outcomes that otherwise would not be able to be generated for our clients. Of that I am certain. And at this point in time, it seems that, you know, this policy seems to have been around for a long period of time, although not heavily utilised. And I can't see any reason as to why this kind of policy inside of financial institutions won't continue to perpetuate. So again, if you're in a situation where your borrowing outcomes from traditional lending and with a traditional broker that doesn't understand these approaches has been maximised, and potentially where you have property already in company and trust, but are being told that your total borrowing potential is now being exceeded or limited, then please reach out to us, because there are absolutely other approaches that can be taken where you could generate outcomes that you otherwise couldn't. And again, unless you know about this, the truth is that you wouldn't even know that this kind of approach exists. So, you know, again, hopefully that's helpful for you. Just a little bit of a peek, a little bit of a, you know, an inkling or an understanding that there are lots of, like, finance is a really big world, and just because, you know, one bank or one professional says that you can or can't do something in particular, it actually, for me, doesn't reflect a total situation or indicative of the total market. So please don't take it that way. You know, please continue to work tenaciously, you know, with all of your finance professionals to try and find a different way to continue to drive great outcomes, and as a result of that, you know, continue on your total property journey. As always, we are, as you can imagine, very, very well versed at this and in a great position to be able to support both, you know, these great outcomes and your total property journey, you know, right across the WiZDOM professional suite. So if we can help with something, please reach out to us and make that happen. Until next time, again, thank you for your attention as always, and I look forward to catching all of you again soon. Take care and goodbye.